I got to think of a scenario. What's up? Yeah, I was just talking. This is like an improvisational comedy show, and I was just trying to think of a scenario. Let's just say that. Oh, hi. Did you ever hear the rock band Rush? They've got an album called 2112, right? Well, I was actually thinking that. What if they built a? Oh, hi. Hi, what's going on? What if the rock band Rush actually built a time machine, traveled in time to the year 2112, where they could do like a reunion tour for their album 2112. Did you ever hear the Rush album 2112 that I was thinking actually? Oh yeah, maybe if Rush actually built a time machine, they traveled to the year 2112 so they could perform 2112 in New York City in the year 2112. They traveled forward to 2112. What do you think of that idea? And then if Rush was actually able to travel time. Um, Also, I was thinking that what if that'd be badass? Yeah, wouldn't it really be cool? But so I actually think that it's good. Yeah, I think it is a really good idea. I think there was actually I was actually thinking, what if somebody was actually like they lived on a farm in Nebraska and they fell asleep one night and like when they woke up, they were lying in a bed, hovering above New York City, like above Central Park. They were lying in a bed and it was actually hovering above Central Park. And when they woke up and they looked down, they actually saw the band Rush 21 playing in 2112, and they found out that they were in bed from the year 2024 until 2112. Do I know a bit of hydraulics? I'm running a test tomorrow. Bit of hydraulics. Do you know a bit of hydraulics? What do you mean by hydraulics? Lewis Hamilton asks, Mike, do you know a bit of hydraulics? I'm writing a test tomorrow. You're writing a test? Are you a teacher? So you're a teacher writing a test? Is that what it is? Oh, theory. Do I a theory of hydraulics? Wait a minute. Quick question. Where are you from? I'm from Chicago, the Chicago area, Chicago, Illinois. Do you want me to? I could actually. Do you know? Do you want me to Google hydraulics? I can actually look up hydraulics and Google it if you want me to. We got somebody named Bendy Moore, Lewis Hamilton. I guess I could look up. I'll look up hydraulics. Okay. Let me see. I look up a hydraulics. Hydraulics. Looking up hydraulics. Hydraulics. Give me a chance. Let's see. Hydraulics. Technology and applied science. Hydraulics. Let's see. Um, Hydraulics is a technology and applied science that uses engineering, chemistry, and other sciences involving the mechanical properties and use of liquids. Hydrodynamics. So I mean, it's like, let's say you're like on a, if you're on a like a ship, like a, let's say you're like on the Mississippi River, not like Huck Finn, like, so fuck Huck Finn. I'm not thinking about Huck Finn and anything, but let's say you're on the Mississippi River, and so fuck Huck Finn. But I was just thinking like just an ordinary person on the Mississippi River, and an example of hydraulics would be. If you're like on the Mississippi Queen or something like that, one of those like the the wheelhouse that actually propels the ship through the water. It uses the science behind hydraulics to propel it. So hydraulics is a technology and applied science that uses engineering, chemistry, and other sciences involving the mechanical properties and use of liquids. It's related to fluid mechanics. Okay, you're from Mississippi? Oh, you are from Mississippi. That's cool. So yeah, what if you? Oh, I have an idea. So what if you were on like a big like the Mississippi Queen or like one of those like big like ships on the Mississippi River, and but it was like you were in kind of a time warp. It was actually a year back where you're from. It was like the year 1760, and you're trying to and you hear that like up the Mississippi River, or no, down the Mississippi. Well, you go if you go to like Kansas City or something like that, you're gonna find. Wait, when I so went to yeah, but actually that if you get to Kansas City within 4 hours, you're gonna experience a time warp. But by the time you get to Kansas City, there's gonna be a time warp from the year 2024 to 2112. But you got to get there in 4 hours. If you don't get there in 4 hours, um, then the time warp is just going to disappear if you don't get there in 4 hours. So you only got a time window of 4 hours to get from on the Mississippi River, from like down the Mississippi River up to like some point along the Mississippi River, like I'm trying to think, what states the Mississippi River cuts through. I want to make sure I don't get my geography wrong. Uh, I think Missouri. Wait a minute. Well, the Mississippi River outlines Illinois, right? That's kind of like the I don't know, whatever. I don't want to fuck it up or anything. Like the wrong states. I mean, this is basic geography. I don't want to fuck this up, but it's like yeah, okay. So you're like okay, but you're gonna be like you're on the Mississippi River, okay, and in order to get to the time warp that exists like in Kansas City, you got to make sure that you get there in 4 hours from the point at which you're at. But otherwise, if you get there in 2 hours, for example, the time warp will no longer be there. It'll just be 2024 like it is right now. But if you get to Mississippi, I mean, if you get to Kansas City within the 4 hours, you'll be able to pass through a time warp into the year 2112, where you'll see the band Rush performing on stage in New York, in New York's like near Central Park in New York, and but you have to get there in 4 hours, and in order to do that, you're gonna have to have a fundamental knowledge of hydraulics. So before we before you even get started on trying to get there in 4 hours, trying to get from the point at which you're at to Kansas City in 4 hours along the Mississippi River, you got to make sure you got a firm grasp of hydraulics. So let me give you a primer. Let me give you a crash course in hydraulics. Hydraulics is a technology and applied science that uses engineering, chemistry, and other sciences involving the mechanical properties and use of liquids, is related to fluid mechanics. Okay, fluid mechanics, um, which provides its theoretical foundation. Hydraulics allow machines to transmit force from one point to another using an incompressible fluid, which also increases the force applied to one end for a given amount of effort. The word hydraulics originates from the Greek word hydraulikos, which means water organ. People always ask. People also ask. People also ask. They're simple to use. They have levers and push buttons, which makes it easy to start, stop, accelerate, and decelerate. These controls also allows for accurate controlling. What? Oh, wait a minute. What do you know about quantum mechanics? What do I know about quantum mechanics? I know a lot about quantum mechanics. I can. Let's see. Well, it is theorized that. Okay. Let me start by saying that. In the early days of like organic chemistry and applied sciences, in the early days of like chemistry and physics, people thought that the smallest form of matter was like the atom, and that within the atom you have like the nucleus of the atom. You've got like protons, neutrons, and electrons kind of like swirling around the nucleus. But then they found out that this wasn't a fully acceptable explanation to explain like some of the phenomenons and the working of the universe weren't fully explained by this model, by the standard model of physics wasn't sufficient to explain some of the phenomenon that they were observing. So then subatomic particles, yeah, there's subatomic particles, but then if you break down matter further down, I mean, if you're able to break matter down to smaller units of matter that go beyond the subatomic particles, some theorize that you could do this by breaking it down to these vibrating strings, which vibrate together and form like all the different forms of matter that we see in the universe. Like, and when they vibrate in harmony, when the strings vibrate in a certain way, you'll find like harder forms of matter, like rock, and but then when they vibrate like depending on the vibrations of the cosmic strings, you might find matter in various forms, whether they're hard or soft, whether like. So I mean that's just kind of like a tip of the iceberg explanation of quantum mechanics, but I mean. It goes a lot deeper than that, and I'm not trying to claim to be an expert on quantum mechanics, but I have read a lot about it, and it was kind of like back in the day. It was like there was kind of like a debate going on between like Niels Bohr, people like that, and Einstein. Einstein was like wanted to stick with the classical form of physics, the classical explanation for like gravity. And then people like Niels Bohr and then there was Erwin Schrödinger came up with like different models of physics that try to explain some of the more like puzzling observations that scientists have made in nature, and to try to like, but not with in the black holes. I mean. Black holes are like these massive holes that are the result of like gravity being so strong that matter itself collapses in on itself, and like once like a black hole is formed, I think there's actually like a black hole in the middle of the Milky Way galaxy. It's called Cygnus X1, but once something goes into a black hole, nothing can escape, not even like light. Or any object or light or nothing can escape from a black hole theoretically, but now they're actually finding that like even a black hole has a lifespan, and that even a black hole can die. So like there is a branch of like theoretical like science that that theorizes like different ways by which the universe will come to an end too. So even black holes theoretically will die, and I'm reading a book right now that's kind of like tries to address the. Wait a minute, Ghostly Kiss is a big title in the UK. Oh, cool. Tic Tacs. The Ghostly Kiss is big in the UK. I'm really happy to hear that. That my song Ghostly Kiss, it's big in the UK. That's excellent. The normal white guy. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you like that. But wait a minute, it's on TikTok. I mean, I never put it on TikTok. Did somebody like share it with TikTok? Because I never put it on there. I see like the Doors. Have you heard Jim's poetry? Yes, I have. I'm a huge fan of the Doors. Yeah, I've heard Jim's poetry. Yeah, it's when the still sea conspires in arbor and wow. So Ghostly Kiss is big in the UK. I'm really happy to hear that. It's on TikTok in the UK. That's really fascinating. If you wanted to hear like an explanation of that song, it's kind of like if I was to be like the character in that song, it's kind of like me if a character that never really found like the right woman in life and this concrete life that we live on planet Earth. If I had never found like the woman, if I never truly fell in love with a woman, but I actually fell in love with a supernatural being in the graveyard. I met a ghost in the graveyard, and I fell in love with this ghost. And having never fallen in love in real life, I fell in love with a ghost, and it's kind of the story of me like having a supernatural romance with a ghost I met in the graveyard, basically. But I mean, there's more to it than that. That's kind of like the surface level explanation of it. Um, but yeah, I'm happy to hear that Ghostly Kiss is big in the UK. I'm really happy to hear that. TikTok. But wait a minute, if it's on TikTok, I never put it on TikTok myself. Um, how do I cash in on that? I mean, it's on TikTok, huh? Somebody must have shared it with TikTok, huh? Because I never did. I never put it on TikTok. Wait a minute. Catchy as fuck as well as deep. Oh, thanks, man. I'm really happy to hear that. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. I'm really flattered by that. Yeah. Yeah, I love that song. I actually wrote that song. That's one of those songs I've been working on for years. I mean, I wrote it like several years ago when I used to live in this other place in Chicago. I wrote this place in Lincoln Park, Chicago that I used to live in. I wrote it there. And I've been developing it over the years and kind of found this chord progression that I like. And I kind of kept developing it over the years, and I kept reworking the lyrics, rewriting the lyrics, and I'm glad you like it. But yeah, we are talking about. Hmm, let's see. But I was actually thinking that. Wait a minute. Um, um, yeah, some of my favorite songwriters from England, by the way, are I like Kate Bush. She's catchy as fuck as well as deep. And what are some of my other favorite English? Like PJ Harvey's really good. Um, and then there's Julian Cope. Julian Cope's a great songwriter. I believe he's from England too, UK. Wait a minute. We need a YouTube short of it for people. Yeah, a YouTube short of it for people. Put make a YouTube short out of a Ghostly Kiss. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, yeah, I'll do that if you want a YouTube short. Yeah, of Ghostly Kiss. Okay. Yeah. Jack White. Yeah, he's an excellent artist too. Jack White. Yeah. By the way, I have a cover of Seven Nation Army by Jack White. Yeah. Papa San Francisco. You, what's up? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah. San Francisco. I've never been to San Francisco. I always wanted to go there. Actually, did you know that the great Winona Ryder is from San Francisco? Of Heather's fame? Yeah, she's from San Francisco. San Francisco. Um, but yeah, I've never been there. I always wanted to visit that. Yeah, it'll go through the algorithm nicely. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah. So the only thing about the YouTube Shorts, though, is that if you're trying to monetize YouTube, the shorts don't count towards your total hours. Only only the videos and the live streams. So that's why I realized that like you can get like millions of views, but the way you can monetize shorts on YouTube is if you get like I think if you get enough like short views, then you can. But the hours don't count. Wait a minute. Albert King and Sarah. Oh yeah, Albert King was awesome. Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan, excellent, excellent blues man. Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Albert King. What about? Did you ever hear about Albert Collins, the master of the Telecaster? Albert Collins from down in Texas. Yeah, but exposure. Yeah, exposure. Yeah, it gives you exposure. You do the YouTube Shorts, it'll give you the exposure. It doesn't give you the well, it'll give you. I think if you get like you have to get like 5 million like YouTube short views. I think, which sounds like a hell of a lot. But the short view within a certain period of time, but the short views are a lot easier to get than the full views for the videos. I'm gonna Steve Big Vi. I'm gonna big Steve Vai kick. Yeah, Steve Vai is a great guitarist. Definitely, yeah. Steve Vai, that's an excellent guitar player. One of the best, kind of like one of the best shredders, actually. Yeah. Um, what do you think of Van? Are you a fan of Van Halen? You got to think of how many countries see American shorts too. Yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. Um, but the only thing about shorts is, I mean, I'm trying to monetize YouTube, and you can't do it with the shorts. You got to have like, you got to monetize it with the videos and the live streams. But I guess you can actually get more subscribers with the shorts, and you can get if you get 5 million shorts, I think, short views, then you get the then if you get that, and well, wait a minute, I think you have to get a certain amount of view time, but with the shorts, if you don't have enough subscribers, and if you have enough shorts, then you qualify. I think, yeah. But yeah, I mean, shorts are still a way to get exposure and to get people interested in your channel too. Um, what about Johnny Winter? Have you ever heard of Johnny Winter? Are you a fan of Johnny Winter from Texas? And then there's Muddy Waters, of course, but Johnny Winter. I mean, is it a great amalgamation of blues and rock? I mean, it's a great blues rock hybrid. What about another great blues rock artist from England is Robin Trower. Have you ever heard of Robin Trower? Oh, hey, Amari Gibson Gamer. Amari Gibson Gamer. Okay, have you? Do you see the Jim Morrison and Billie Eilish posters in back of me? Two great American artists. Where are you from, Amari Gamer? Amari Gibson Gamer. And wait a minute, is a normal white guy still there? Um, phone died. Okay, the phone died. Okay, your phone died. Is it out of batteries? I got mine plugged in, but did you have you normal white guy? Have you ever heard of Robin Trower? Oh, you're back in. Good. That's good. So we got Amari Gibson Gamer. We got normal white guy. Have you ever heard of Robin Trower, a great blues rock artist from England? And yeah, you should listen to him. He's got this he's got an album called Bridge of Sighs. It's kind of like a really good um, if I was describing the best describe it, I would actually say, I mean, if you're a fan of the like electric blues, If you're a fan of like just hard rock blended with electric blues, and maybe even a little bit of a progressive rock influence, um, you're gonna like that. I was Robin Trower, A Bridge of Sighs. It's just, he's got all this other stuff too. But he's just like a phenomenally good blues rock artist. Um, I think one of the best blues players right now is Justin Johnson. He's from Texas on YouTube. Justin Johnson. Yeah, yeah. Check out the Trower. Justin Johnson. You never heard of him, but yeah, it sounds. He's from Texas. It seems like there's a lot of great guitar players from Texas. I mean, you got ZZ Top down there. You've got Albert Collins. You've got. But I'm so happy to hear that you like my song "A Ghostly Kiss." Wait a minute. Justin Johnson is an insane blues player. Yeah, I got to hear that. Yeah. Oh, I got a question for you because I started doing TikTok, but I just found it to be kind of a pain in the ass. But is TikTok how lucrative is TikTok? I mean, if you get like a hit TikTok, is it very lucrative? And so somebody like how did like he doesn't just sing, he doesn't sing, he just plays insane original instrumentals. Yeah, sometimes I mean it's kind of fun to just play instrumentals. You don't have to come up with any lyrics, just come up with the great melodies and hooks and everything. And then you just kind of like sit back and just like jam. It's great. I love them instrumentals. Wait a minute. Ghostly Kiss was in my head all day. Catchy stuff. Oh, thanks, Schaefer Drive. That's really cool. Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Um, Wait a minute. Ghostly Kiss is on TikTok. Somebody must have shared it. I mean, um, I should put it on TikTok myself, I guess. I have no clue. TikTok, I just heard about it. Okay, yeah. I have no clue on TikTok. I just heard about it. Okay, yeah. Um, I actually heard that like if you're trying to make money on social media, I've heard that it's like a lot easier on YouTube is more lucrative. He plays slide guitar like crazy. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. I gotta hear that. Yeah. Um, I should listen to that definitely. So we got Schaefer Drive and Normal White Guy. Okay, cool. Yeah. Um, yeah. Some of that instrumental stuff is can be transcendent. Just the instrumentals. I mean, just um, I'd love to do just like an pure instrumental album, actually. Let the music do the talking, let the music speak for itself, and just like the melodies themselves, like take your mind to a different place. Check Justin's setup. He does YouTube Live. Yeah, you should check that out. Really like to see that. Yeah, it sounds cool. Schaefer Drive is instrumental rock slash blues. I'm the lead guitar. Oh wow, cool. Schaefer Drive. So you're in a band together? You're in a band together, Schaefer Drive and Normal Waika. You have a band together. Cool. Do you guys write lyrics or just instrumentals? Rhythm. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'd like to hear it definitely. Um, do you have a is your song are all your songs instrumentals or do you do any lyrics? Oh, hi, Jack Attack. I'm glad you're back. That's great. Yeah, we got inspired to go live from the song Ghostly Kiss the other day. Oh, cool. That's excellent. Yeah. Oh, I'm really flattered by that. You got inspired to go live from the book Ghostly Kiss the other day. I'm really inspired by that. I'm really flattered by that. Uh, sorry, I wasn't here for a couple of lives. Yes, all the instrumentals have a couple of music videos too. Oh, cool. That's excellent. Yeah. That's awesome. Uh, CapCut helps with music videos. Who's CapCut? Who's CapCut? I still think we need to cover it. It's a video editor. Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want, you could cover my song "Ghostly Kiss." It's an edit program. Oh, cool. We're making shorts and music videos. Oh, cool. That's excellent. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Hell yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. Oh, cool. Excellent. I learned more than a feeling. Like you told. Oh, I can't stop playing. That's excellent. Yeah. You learn more than a feeling. Excellent. How'd you learn it? Just by listening to it, or did you get the? How'd you learn? Did you get the tablature for it, or did you learn it just by listening to it? Oh, you got the tab. Oh, excellent. Yeah. So, do you feel like you got the riff down pretty good? Oh, cool. That's excellent. Yeah. The Chevy Drive song when I you've got a song called "When I Die." Is that what you're saying? You ever mess around with drum machines? No, but I get like actually with my there's a drum. There's kind of like a at my electric piano's got like a function on it where you can actually record drums on it, which is really cool actually. Yeah, it's one thing we like is a drummer. I don't have a drummer either, actually. What kind of guitar to use? I've got a Gibson Epiphone. I mean, it's an Epiphone, but it's actually a guitar that's manufactured by Gibson, and I have a acoustic Yamaha guitar. Been using a Schecter and Mitchell guitar. Yeah, actually, I used to have a Mitchell. I got that like years ago. There was like my first acoustic guitar was actually Mitchell. I remember that brand. Yeah. From the song I heard you play yesterday, I'm thinking you're 420 friendly. What 420? What's 420? Wait a minute. Mitchell's a guitar center brand a guitar center brand that is actually really yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I like the Mitchell. Yeah, it's excellent. Yeah, cool. Oh, I be in Bedford Park sometimes. Bedford Park. Where's that, in England or something? Bedford Park? Well, when we make it big, we are going to put you on open sing along some Billy Strings. Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Hey, what's going on? There's my Billie Eilish poster, and there's my Jim Morrison poster. Wait a minute. When we make it big, we're going to put you on to open alongside Billy Strings. Oh, cool. Yeah, excellent. Should I join a band when I'm older, Dr. Rock? Yeah, join a band when you get older. Yeah, you should join a band. Definitely. What kind of band do you want to join? Punk rock because it's easy to play. Yeah, you should. Yeah, punk rock sounds good. Yeah, excellent idea. Have a good one, bud. Listen to a music video. Yeah, when I listen to your music videos, definitely. Yeah, you have a good one too, definitely. And I'm so happy to hear that you guys over there in the UK, if you like my song "Ghostly Kiss," I'm really flattered by that, and I'm trying to make it a hit on YouTube. So it's gotten some views, but I want to make it like I'd like to get like a lot more views out of it too. But so it's a hit on TikTok. Huh? Somebody must have shared it or something. But yeah, that's really cool. Oh, excellent. Cool, man. All right, yeah, it was really nice talking to you. I'll be right back. What kind of guitar equipment do you have? I have a Marshall amp, and then I have Epiphone guitar. It's an Epiphone, and I have a my acoustic guitar is actually my acoustic guitar is a Yamaha. I would recommend the Yamaha and the Epiphone are really good products. They're actually affordable, and yet like they're not cheap sounding. They sound really good. I mean, it sounds really professional. It's an affordable line of products, but it's you know, it's got a great sound to it though. Um, I already wrote some of your own, some of my own music. Yeah, I'd like to hear it. What are the names of the songs you wrote? What'd you write actually? Did you just write the music, or do you write the lyrics too, or just music? Both. Cool. Yeah, I'd like to hear it. Okay. Speed of sound and never mind. Get it all figured out. Then remember when we were okay. Oh, cool. Yeah. Where are you from? Actually, from the Chicago area, no, United States of America, the Chicagoland. Where are you from? Yeah, sure. Wish to visit the city as many other cities. Yeah, you should visit Chicago, definitely. Well, if you ever did get a chance to come to America, came to Chicago, one of the best places to see a concert is the Metro in Chicago. That's a great place to see a concert. But then also, sometimes they have concerts at Wrigley Field in Chicago, and then they also have concerts at places like the Aragon Ballroom. Good places to see concerts. So if you ever get a chance, you got to stop by and see some of those. Oh, hi. Hey, what's going on? Um, So actually, the original point of the show was supposed to be like an improvised comedy show, an improvisational comedy, and I was going to come up with like different scenarios and different. I might be back to send a copy of the album. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd really be cool, Jag Attack. Yeah. Um, did anybody in my audience right now? Did any of you people see the Jimmy Kimmel show last night? Any of you people see that on ABC on Channel 7? It was Bon Jovi was the guest. And one of the things that I found pretty interesting is the album cover for "Slippery When Wet." It was actually there was an original cover of the album was supposed to be this. It was like this hot chick with big tits, and that was going to be the album cover. But Bon Jovi, you did, yeah, you thought it was good, yeah. So Bon Jovi showed that like he didn't think that album cover was going to be like a good enough album cover to sell the record to market the album, and that it was going to be like it would kind of bomb if it had that cover. So he wanted so his idea for the album cover was just take like a wet bag, like a wet trash bag, and he would cut in like the bag is all wet and everything, and he scribbled into the bag slippery when wet, and it was actually like he traced it into the bag. I mean he traced that word slippery when wet into the bag like a trash bag, and he just take a picture of it, and that's the album cover. I never knew that, but that's actually I didn't know that Bon Jovi was such a innovative visual artist, actually, but that became the album cover. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, so I guess it's like necessity is the mother of invention. So that was kind of like that was like the offspring of his. I mean, that was like the mother of his mother of invention. I mean, The necessity in that case, the necessity was Bon Jovi had to come up with an album cover. They had all these songs that they thought would really perform well commercially on the radio. They had to come up with an album cover, so they came up with Bon Jovi just took this trash bag and he wrote the word "slippery when wet" on it, in kind of like in the condensation on the bag, and he just traced out the word "slippery when wet," and that became the album cover. And so then, is that why the album sold like zillions of copies? Because of the album cover, or is it for the songs? But anyways, but actually, I was wondering why Bon Jovi didn't play. I would have liked to hear him play a song on the show too. I was wondering why he didn't play, but maybe we'll get to see him soon. One can only hope that we can see him on TV again in the near future, and he could like play one of his new songs. That'd be good. Okay, but maybe I should do an improvisational comedy sketch with something that's like an interrelated to Bon Jovi and the album "Silver Ribbon Wet." Okay, let me think. I could try, let me think of a scene. Okay, let's say that it's um, slippery when wet. Um, a Bon Jovi improvisational comedy sketch with slippery related to "Slippery When Wet." Let's say that. I'm trying to think. Let's say you live in the Bronx, okay? Let's say you live in the Bronx, and then you wake up. You live in this ramshackle. Let's Slippery When Wet has a brilliant cover. Yeah. Oh, that's very flattering to Bon Jovi. Okay. Um, let's say you live in like some kind of like total dump in the Bronx, okay? You live in a total dump in the Bronx, and let's say that you really want to get the fuck out of there. You really, you'd like to move out to the Hamptons or something like that, but you can't afford it. You have to stay in the Bronx. It's rat infested. It's it stinks to high heaven. It's all filthy, and there's prostitutes and drugs everywhere. You go to bed every night, and um, you're real lonely there. You're desperate. You don't have a job. You don't have a wife. You don't have any kind of a life at all. And you wake up one morning, and you're in some kind of like weird version of heaven, but you're kind of like somewhere like in you wake up, you just wake up one day, and you've been transported somehow to some place in like somewhere out west, like um, I don't know, Texas. You wake up let's just say Texas. Okay. You wake up and you're kind of like like a remote part of Texas, but you wake up and you're like in a room. You wake up in a room, and the song "Living on a Prayer" is playing, but it's playing at like the most ear shatter, like a kind of like glass shattering volume you've ever heard. It's like the song "Living on a Prayer" is like played at like a volume that could like shatter glass. And yeah, but it's just like a real high volume. The song "Living on a Prayer." It's on a stereo, and you can't. I mean, like you want it to, if you like the song, but you want to, it's too loud. But you want to turn it down a little so you can enjoy it more. But you can't. The knob is like stuck in place, and like you try everything you can. I mean, you don't have the physical strength to turn the knob because the knob is like stuck in position, and all you can hear is like "Living on a Prayer," and it keeps playing and replaying and replaying, and not only that, the song won't stop playing "Living on a Prayer," but you're stuck in a room that like you're locked in this room, but you're in Texas. And you can see how that, I mean, there's one window in the room, and you're locked inside this room, and the song Living on a Prayer. Oh, living on a prayer, take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Ah, living on a prayer, living on a prayer. Okay, so I mean, you're kind of like stuck in this room. It's in Texas. I mean, but I mean, if you recall, like earlier in this, like this whole stream of consciousness thing that I've been working on, you were in the Bronx and you were like in a shitty neighborhood in the Bronx, but you wake up one day and it's like you're in a nicer location. You're like in a nicer part of the country, but you're like in Texas, but you're like stuck like in a room, and you're stuck in a room with one window and one door, and the room's like all brown, and there's a stereo in there, and the room's, I mean, it's like all brown walls and ceiling, and everything's brown. The floor is brown, everything's brown, and like and the stereo at like just like a really kind of like intense volume. You hear the song "Living on a Prayer," and you can't turn it down because it's like the knob is stuck in place. And so you're stuck listening to this, but not only are you stuck in the room, but not only are you like stuck listening to the song at full volume, but the door won't open. The door is like welded shut, and you look outside and it's like a beautiful day out. There's people frolicking. There's like people listening to this all this great music like in some field, and you're inside. You're stuck inside this like cabin, like in the middle of Texas, with the song "Living on a Prayer" like at full volume, at like a just like a really searing volume, and it just keeps repeating over and over again, and you can't get the door open. The door's been welded shut. You look outside, it's like a beautiful day, but you can't get outside. It's like you're like in this like you're in this chamber that's like, like pure like iron or something, with the song "Living on a Prayer," and yeah. Let's just say that like you were stuck let's say you were stuck at a house like in the middle of Texas, and the song "Living on a Prayer" was like, and all you had was like you had like an ample food supply. You had like some of the most delicious food that you've ever tasted, and you had like the delicious sounds of Bon Jovi's "Living on a Prayer." It's like one of your favorite songs, but the only the only the only the only thing is, the song is playing at like a searing volume on a stereo. A beautiful. It's got to be. It's like with a blow punked. You got like the best of the loudest speakers. You got like Blaupunk speakers, and you got like a Harman Kardon or whatever the most like the best stereo system on the planet. But it's playing like Bon Jovi's "Living on a Prayer," and it won't stop playing it, and you can't get it to stop playing it. You can't get it. You can't even turn it down. I mean, it's at like I don't know how many decibels that would be, but it's like at this like glass shattering volume, but it won't shatter glass because like you're in a house in Texas with like shatterproof glass, unbreakable glass, and you look outside in the beautiful day and like you're in there for hours and hours, but you find out like a week has gone by, and for some strange reason, you open up a refrigerator. And every time you open up, whenever you devour all the food in the refrigerator, it's all this delicious food, and there's like a nice stove in there and everything. You can make all these nice tacos and burgers and everything, but you can't get the stereo to stop playing "Living on a Prayer." It just keeps playing "Living on a Prayer." It won't stop, and it won't play. And not only will it not stop playing "Living on a Prayer," it sounds like the radio, doesn't it? I mean, it literally sounds like the radio. You keep hearing the same songs, but like. Not only, no, I'm not locked in on. I'm coming up with a comedy sketch, like so. I mean, I guess yeah. Maybe that was inspired by the radio because you keep hearing the same songs on the radio. But that's like maybe it's some people's idea of heaven and some people's idea of hell. Whatever it is, you're stuck in this house in Texas with the song "Living on a Prayer" playing incessantly. You can't get to the stop. Not only can you not get to the stop, but you can't get to the stop you can't even turn it down from like the searing volume that it's stuck at. So it's like you're in a, you're in a this little abode in Texas, and it's like the song "Living on a Prayer" is like just at a glass-shattering volume, but it won't shatter the glass because you're stuck in this place with like shatterproof glass, and but also you're stuck in this place with a refrigerator that um, magically keeps replenishing itself with like fresh food, fresh meats, some of the best, the finest cuts of meat from which you can make delicious tacos, fresh vegetables, fresh milk, fresh produce, fresh mayonnaise, fresh everything, Fresh in the freezer, there's always delicious ice cream. But the temperature is perfect inside this place, but it's just you. It's just you in there. And you don't feel bad, you feel good. Physically, you feel fine. You feel like you don't have any like physical complications. Your health is you almost have like a perfect health. You're almost like in a perfect state of health. You don't have like high blood pressure or cholesterol, high cholesterol, or any of those things. You don't have like you're not diabetic. You're not pre-diabetic. Physically, you feel like almost 100%, and yet you're stuck in this play. And the climate, it's climate controlled in there, and it's big enough for you to roam around within this place. The only But the only thing is, you're stuck in this place, and the song "Living on a Prayer" is playing at like ear piercing volume. Can you sleep? No, you can't sleep, but you don't get tired. There's no bed in there. There's a couch, but there's not a bed. Your only form of entertainment is the song "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi, which you're forced to hear again and 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 again. It won't stop playing. You can't get it to stop playing. You can't turn the stereo off. You can't turn it down. You must hear it in just like an ear piercing volume, like a kind of like it's just kind of like a searing volume. But it's like, I mean, it's like it sounds good to you, and you like it loud and everything, but you'd like to hear another song. You'd like to hear another song, not just the same song over and over again, much like the radio does. But so you're stuck in this like house in Texas, and it's always beautiful outside, but you can't go outside. You're stuck inside the house. So is that your idea of heaven, or is that your idea of hell? So that's kind of like a philosophical question, I think. But as you're stuck inside the house, and like, let's say that living on a prayer might be your favorite song. It may very well be your favorite song, but I hope it's not only your favorite song, but it's like your favorite song by a large margin, because it's the song that you're going to be forced to hear for all of eternity. But you can't sleep, but you don't need, but you feel like you don't need, you feel like you don't need sleep because you just don't get tired, and you never feel physically. You always feel 100%, and you always feel really healthy and everything. But and you always have like an ample supply of food. You got a refrigerator that keeps like replenishing itself, and you've got like the best sounding stereo you've ever heard. But all it plays is "Living on a Prayer." It plays that song again and again and again and again and again and again and again for eternity. And you're stuck inside the house. You look outside, and there's like, well, but there's no women inside the house. All you see are like the most beautiful women you've ever seen, in kind of like frolicking through a courtyard, naked outside, and you're stuck inside, and you want to, and they're saying, they're beckoning you. They're saying, "Come to us. We want to have some sex." But you're stuck inside this house, and the door's is welded shut. And so you want to have sex with all these beautiful women in the field that are kind of like frolicking around, the most gorgeous women you've ever seen. They're kind of like frolicking in front of this, like you can see them out the window. But you can't bust open the window, you can't get through. The door is stuck closed, and you're stuck inside a house that's like playing "Living on a Prayer" at like a searing volume. I mean, and do you think that's, oh, hi. Me Mas Monkey. Your name is Me My Monkey? Me My Monkey. Oh, hi, how's it going? So let's just say you're stuck inside a house in Texas, and you're stuck inside the house, and this story you won't stop playing Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer, ear searing volume, and you can't get outside, and even the door's welded shut, and you can't get the door open. It may be your favorite song, but now you've been forced to hear it for all of eternity. Is it still your favorite song? It's kind of like maybe I'm trying to draw like a parallel between this and the radio, because if you listen to the radio, he playing the same stuff over and over again. Oh, oh, howdy, Lord. Your name is Lord Ray Jasco. Okay. Um, Maybe that's why I don't buy Bon Jovi albums, because they are catchy, but you hear them all the time on the radio, so you don't really need the album. You know, that's probably why I don't buy their albums, and that's probably why I don't buy like Boston albums or Guns N' Roses albums or Duran Duran albums, because that's all you hear on the radio is like the same 200 songs. But but wait a minute. So wait a minute. So this would be a quality of life that's pretty low. Yes, yes. I think that I kind of agree. I tend to agree with that because you want to get. But wait a minute. Now I'm thinking like. So that's like the scenario that I came up with. But now I'm thinking, is there any way out? Do you think it's funnier if this was like a um, do you think it's a funnier idea to think that you're stuck inside a house in Texas, being subjected to the song "Living on a Prayer for Eternity" at a searing volume, maybe a remastered version of that song with like kind of like with that's been digitally remastered with like an extended guitar solo, and but you're like inside and like extra flourishes, like new arrangements to it, and new like harmony vocals and new I don't know, new instrumentation, and so you're stuck inside this house, and you've got like a refrigerator that keeps replenishing itself with like the most delicious food you've ever tasted. You've got all the creature comforts you need in there. And when you look outside, all you see are like these beautiful women frolicking out there. They're always nude, 24/7. They're nude all the time. And they're dancing with each other. But they're beckoning you. Come on, come on here with us. You keep trying to tell them you can't get out. You're stuck inside, but they can't hear you because it's like soundproof in there. They can't hear you outside. So they're outside and they're making out with each other. The most beautiful women you ever see. They're kind of like they're dancing with each other, making out, and maybe even going to third base with each other. And you know, you're stuck inside there and you can't get the door open. And they're telling you that they want you to. I guess they're bisexual or something. They want you to come outside and like join them, but you can't get out. And you're screaming at the top of your lungs. I want to come out and join you, but I'm stuck inside this place. I'm stuck inside a house that keeps playing Bon Jovi's "Slippery When Wet" at full volume, and I can't get out. And so you're stuck inside, and it's like perpetually a beautiful summer day out there, and you're stuck inside, and um, you even try breaking the window open, and that won't work. And so. Um, Do you think it'd be funnier just for my story? Do you think it's a funnier idea to have this story be a story to have the the guiding principle of the story be that there's absolutely no way that you can get out of this house, that you're actually stuck. There's actually no possible way you're going to get out of the house. You're trapped inside of a house that. Um, do you think? I mean, in other words, do you think it's funny to have the circumstances? Hey, Mike, why do you post your? Oh, wait a minute. Do you think these are funnier circumstances? A, that you're stuck inside of a house, perpetually hearing the song Bon Jovi for eternity, and there's absolutely no way you can get out, and that like the laws of physics have conspired against you in order to trap you inside a house in Texas in which the song the Bon Jovi song "Slippery When Living on a Prayer" is playing perpetually, and you can't get out of the house? Or do you think it's funnier to have like a clause within the story by which you can it is possible that you can break free of this house, but it's predicated on the um, it's it's predicated by your um, psychically transferring your thoughts to the bass player from Bon Jovi. So if you could actually, if you could psychically transmit your thoughts from your mind to the mind of the bass player of Bon Jovi, imploring him to drive to Texas with Bruce Springsteen, and it must be with Bruce Springsteen, and it must be the bass player from Bon Jovi, not the singer, not the guitar player, not the drummer. It's got to be the bass player. The bass player from Bon Jovi and you have to. First of all, you have to meet. You have to meet the. Obviously, you have to meet the bass player from Bon Jovi, and then once you do, you have to convince him. But I mean, if you're trapped inside the house, how are you going to do this? Well, first you have to psychically transmit your thoughts to. You have to psychically transmit your thoughts to the mayor of Cleveland. And once the mayor of Cleveland is aware of the fact that you're trapped in a house in Texas in which there's a stereo inside in which on which the song Bon Jovi is playing ad infinitum. They're playing the song "Living on a Prayer." You're trapped inside this house, and the only way you can get out is if the bass player from Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen drive from New Jersey to Texas. Let's say it's Plano, Texas. Let's just say Plano, Texas. From New Jersey to Plano, Texas, the bass player from Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen have to drive from New Jersey to Plano, Texas to set you free from the house that you're trapped in, the house in which the song "Living on a Prayer" is playing ad infinitum at a searing volume. That's the only circumstances upon which your release would be predicated. So, I mean, if you're able to accomplish that, I mean, first of all, the phenomenon of telepathy, mental telepathy, obviously has to be a phenomenon that truly does exist. And if it does, I mean, if you find out that the phenomenon of telepathy is not pseudoscience, but if it's true science and that it does exist, still, even if telepathy does exist, you've got to be like. You've got to know how to access that faculty within your own mind, because some people theorize that telepathy does exist. Mind reading and transmitting thoughts and reading people's minds does exist, but not everybody knows how to use that mental faculty. So if you don't know how to use that mental faculty, then obviously you're not going to be able to transmit your thoughts to the mayor of Cleveland so that he can um, drive up to New Jersey and tell the bass player from Bon Jovi that in order to release you from the nearly indestructible house that you're trapped in, wherein you're subjected to the song "Living on a Prayer" at a searing volume, in order to send him that message to the mayor of Cleveland. First of all, the phenomenon of telepathy truly be proven to exist, and my theory is that telepathy does exist. Um, as a matter of fact, Blue Oyster Cult's got a song called "Flaming Telepaths." So to be like a flaming telepath is somebody that's actually people that are like a subculture of people that communicate with each other on a telepathic level. The flaming telepaths. So and also another telepathy reference would be Stephen King's The Shining. When they say The Shining, the Shining is a reference to people that actually read each other's minds and that actually hear actually when you can hear somebody else's voice in your head, it's like your head is like a radio, and you can hear like somebody could transmit to their thoughts to your head, and it's like your head is like a radio. And I don't know. So I mean, if that really is true, then you've got to learn how to use your transmitter and your radio that exists in your head, and you got to be able to, in order to get out of this house, out of the house that you're stuck in Cleveland. You got to be able to transmit your thoughts to the mayor of Cleveland. Not in Cleveland. You're stuck in a house in Texas, but in order to you know uh, get out of your fucking house that you're stuck in Cleveland, you got to be able to transmit your thoughts to the mayor of Cleveland. Let me just practice it. I'll take on the role of the guy that's stuck in the house in Texas, and I mean, just to give you like something to go on, something to some kind of like I need. I mean, if you need some kind of like a starting point for this, let me just act this out in my own mind. Let me see. Okay, I'll take on the role of the person that's stuck in the house in Texas. The guy who's stuck in the house who's actually um, forced to listen to the song "Living on a Prayer" indefinitely. When I say indefinitely, it's been going on for years. Let's just say you're stuck in the house. You're stuck in a house in Texas, and I mean the climate. It's climate controlled and everything. So all the climactic conditions are perfect inside the house. It's like a comfortable 72 degrees in the house round the clock. You've got like a self-replenishing refrigerator that keeps replenishing food, but the stereo keeps playing the song over and over again. The song "Living on a Prayer" at like a like a searing volume, and you're stuck in there. It's like you're trapped inside this house, and so you're trying to telepathically contact the mayor of Cleveland. Why the mayor of Cleveland? Because that's where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is. It's in Cleveland. And I would assume Bon Jovi's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If they're not, there's no justice in the world. But so let's assume, which I would assume that Bon Jovi has got to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, and that's why and I think Bruce Springsteen's got to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too, right? Obviously. So so um, um, you're trying to, or I'm trying to telepathically contact the mayor of Cleveland. I don't think I drew enough a strong enough connection between the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and why you have to, why it's the mayor. Okay, so the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is. I'm trying to draw all these narrative connections, and I want to make sure this is like a strong enough connection between the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Bon Jovi, and the reason why you have to contact the mayor of Cleveland in order to telepathically to so they can like drive up to New Jersey and talk to the bass player from Bon Jovi, so that he can drive from along with Bruce Springsteen down to Plano, Texas, to set you free from this house that you've been trapped in. Another funny element of the story would be actually Trump or Biden. Um, I don't know if I should answer that question. I mean, I think, you know, I should. I probably shouldn't answer that question on social media, so I'm not going to. Okay, because I don't like to get political on YouTube. Nothing political. If you want to hear my political opinions, you have to. If you happen to overhear me talking to my friends about politics, it's the only way you're going to hear my opinions. I don't like to broadcast my opinions. Okay, so anyways, we're talking about Bon Jovi. We're not talking about politics, okay? Bon Jovi. Okay, we're talking about Bon Jovi and you being trapped in a house in Texas where you're stuck inside this house with the song "Living on a Prayer." Um, oh, thanks. Okay, I'm glad you respect my privacy. Okay, I mean my political privacy. I don't want to expose myself when it comes to politics too much. I don't want to like play the game. Okay, I mean I don't want to. Another thing is I don't want to be polarizing to my audience. I mean, there may be people in my audience who believe in all different things, and I don't want to be polarizing. Okay, that exactly that. Okay, um, so yeah, we're talking about Bon Jovi anyway. We're not talking about Trump or Biden. We're talking about Bon Jovi. But anyway, so you're stuck in a house in Texas, and um, maybe Bon Jovi should be the president. Yeah. Okay. So we no, why not? Okay. So, anyways, you're stuck in a house in Plano, Texas, and um, the song "Living on a Prayer" is playing indefinitely, and it's playing. You've been hearing it for like, let's say, 2 years in a row, and you can't sleep or anything. All you can do is like listen to that song. But the thing is, you don't need sleep. I mean, your body doesn't need sleep. Okay, your body physically does not need sleep. Your body doesn't need sleep, but does your mind need sleep? Is there such a phenomenon wherein your body physically you don't feel like you need any sleep? Your brain doesn't feel like it needs any sleep. Your body doesn't feel like it needs sleep. But do you need some kind of like respite or sleep or some kind of like on a esoteric level? Does your soul need some kind of detachment from everything? And if so, is that like the proof of a soul? I mean, does that actually prove that the soul does exist, that the soul substrate does exist on an esoteric level? The fact that like physically and mentally, I mean, like on a purely material level, both your body and brain don't feel like they need sleep, but like on some kind of like weird esoteric level, your soul feels like it needs like a temporary detachment from any kind of like anything ponderous or any kind of pondering or any kind of like speculation, any kind of contemplation or any kind of like mental processes. Your soul just needs like some kind of like complete temporary detachment, or just it needs to depart for just a very short period of time, and then reattach itself to the because the soul or the ghost or the soul is something that like exists like in a metaphysical plane of existence, completely separate from the body, and that's proof of the soul, or is it not? That's something I'll have to continue thinking about in the future. But yeah, you have to. So mentally, you're gonna have to try to like telepathically, not mentally, but telepathically. Well, yeah, mentally on a telepathic level, you you're trying to telepathically contact the mayor of Cleveland and inform him that in order to set you free from the house that you're stuck in Plano, Texas, that just in which the house in which there's a stereo that plays the song "Living on a Prayer" nonstop at a searing volume. In order to be set free of that, you have to telepathically contact the mayor of Cleveland. And why Cleveland? Well, maybe because that's where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, and Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen. I would assume. I mean, they have to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen. I would think they're both in that. Um, you know, you have to mentally, telepathically contact the mayor of Cleveland because Cleveland is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Um, and he has to like drive up to New Jersey to inform the bass player from Bon Jovi, not the drummer, not the guitar player, not the singer, but the bass player from Bon Jovi, that he has to drive down to Plano, Texas, to try to set you free of this house that you're trapped in, wherein you must perpetually, for an indefinite period of time. So far, it's been 2 years, but hear the song "Living on a Prayer" forever. Not forever, but almost forever. And like, what would almost forever be? Not forever, but almost forever. Like trillions of years. Okay, let's say trillions of years have gone by, and you're still hearing the song "Living on a Prayer." Can you imagine actually hearing the song "Living on a Prayer" repeated, like in the repeat position for trillions of years at an ear-searing volume? Like, I mean, not just billions of years. I mean, I guess the universe has been around for like 13 billion years, but I'm talking like trillions of years, for longer than the entire duration of the universe so far. The universe is only 13, I think it's like 13.1 billion years old. Let's say you were stuck in a house in Plano, Texas, where you were subjected to the song "Living on a Prayer" for trillions of years. Um, how bad would you want to get out of that house that you're stuck in? Or maybe you want to stay for another few trillion years, hearing the song the Bon Jovi song "Living on a Prayer" played perpetually for God only knows how long. Um, but so you're stuck at this. So actually, getting back to my original, I mean, the thing that the get to um, my. You don't think that would be that? You think that would be extreme punishment? It says your name is Stigen Hubers. What is that, like a Swedish name or something like that? Stigen Hubers. Anyways, you think that would be extreme punishment to be stuck? You think that um, being stuck in a house in Plano, Texas, wherein you do have like a refrigerator, a self-replenishing. You're Dutch. Oh, that's really cool. Dutch. Never met a Dutchman. You're a Dutchman. Do you have like wooden shoes and there's a really good beer from the Netherlands or Holland. Grolsch. Did you ever have the beer Grolsch? That's a delicious beer, but it's actually, yeah, here in America, yeah, Grolsch beer. It's a Dutch beer. It's available here in America, but they used to have it like the Grolsch lager, but now it's only available the Pilsner. But I like a lager a lot better than the Pilsner. I always preferred the lager over the Pilsner. But the lately only the Grolsch the only the Grolsch Pilsner has only been available. I'd like to get the Grolsch lager. Oh, Heineken is Dutch. Yeah, I like Heineken. Actually, I used to have this T-shirt that was it was a T-shirt for Heineken, and there was a picture of it said "Grab yourself a Heine." I used to have this when I was like a teenager. I used to have this T-shirt, like a Heineken T-shirt, that said "Grab yourself a Heine," and I think there was like a picture of a beautiful woman's ass on the shirt too, and the picture of the Heineken beer, like a Heine, like or Heine. Grab yourself a Heine. I think so. What it was, and who's like in these well, a beautiful woman and like with a nice bodacious pear-shaped body and bubble ass with like short shorts, and it's a with really high cut short shorts, and it's a grab yourself a Heine, but it was like an advertisement for Heineken beer. Wait a minute, yeah, Heineken's a really good beer. I might have to get that next Heineken. Yeah. But anyways, okay. But anyways, getting back to my Bon Jovi sketch. I make myself laugh. Um, anyways, um, yeah. So let me take on the character of like trying to. Oh, so is there anybody in my YouTube audience right now that thinks that? Do you think this is heaven or hell? Do you think this is like sheer agony or extreme, intense, exquisite pleasure? This scenario that I'm setting up right now. Do you think this is like something that would bring extreme pleasure or extreme pain to you? If you were to be stuck like if you were stuck in a house in Plano, Texas, in which the song "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi was playing for an indefinite amount of time. So far, it's been like 4 trillion years, even longer than the current age of the universe. But I think I ran into a paradox because if the universe is only 13.1 billion years, how could it have been like 4 trillion years? Because the longest it could have been was 13.1 billion years. How could 4 trillion years has not even passed by so far in the universe? I mean, the universe, anybody who has existed even from the very birth of the universe has only watched 13.1 billion years going by. So how could you have been stuck in a house in Plano, Texas for 4 billion years listening to the song "Living on a Prayer"? I gotta think of a way to resolve that paradox. How could you does anybody know how I can resolve the paradox of no, I actually think this is a very scholarly academic question that I have. I think this is actually a very legitimate intellectual um, intellectual point of debate. If you were stuck, how do you resolve the paradox of being stuck inside a house in Plano, Texas for 4 trillion years, listening to the song "Living on a Prayer" at a Syrian volume, "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi at a Syrian volume? How do you resolve that paradox, considering the fact that the universe is only 13.1 billion years old? How could you have been stuck inside a house for 4 trillion years listening to the song "Living on a Prayer" over and over again? Question 2. What's worse? The radio? What do you think's like more agonizing, listening to the radio or being stuck in a house in Plano, Texas. Because I mean, I'm not a big fan of the radio because they keep playing the same stuff over and over again. So, what do you think is worse? Being stuck in a house in Plano, Texas, hearing the song, the Bon Jovi song, "Living on a Prayer," over and over again for 4 trillion years. Um, but you do have the visual pleasure of looking outside the window. You can see all like some of the most beautiful women you've ever seen, like making out with each other. They're all naked and they're kind of like they're getting to third base with each other outside of the window, and they're making out and everything. They're all long, flowing, thick, flowing locks of hair. They're dancing and making out and everything. The most beautiful women you've ever seen. But you have to listen to the Bon Jovi song endlessly for 4 trillion years. It almost sounds like a Bon Jovi concert. But anyways, so you're stuck inside this house for 4 trillion years. You're trapped inside of it. Or what's worse, that or listening to the real radio that you hear like across America, because it's pretty much the same thing. Like in every city, it's like you hear the same songs. It's like the same 200 songs or whatever. What's worse, the radio or that? Because at least, I mean, like in the scenario in which like you're stuck listening to the "Living on a Prayer" for 4 trillion years. Um, okay, so it's the same song. They'll play like 200 different songs on the radio, but you're stuck listening to the "Living on a Prayer" for 4 trillion for repeated forever for I mean again and again for 4 trillion years. But you do get to look at these beautiful women, naked beautiful women outside of your house that you're stuck in for 4 trillion years. What's worse, that or the radio? um, uh, anyways, I don't know. I think it's a pretty good philosophical question. I mean, I think it's a very apt philosophical question, and one that cannot be easily answered with one word. I don't think. I mean, I think you would actually that'd be good, like a good theoretical question to ask if you wanted to come up with like a thesis statement for your college for your doctoral thesis in college at like Yale or Harvard. But anyways, but getting back to the paradox of being trapped inside a house in Plano, Texas, for 4 trillion years, and being subjected to the song "Living on a Prayer" for 4 trillion years, being played over and over again for 4 trillion years, with the fact astrophysicists tell us that the universe is only 13.1 billion years old. How do you resolve that paradox? I think I would rather want to. I think I would rather want to listen to the radio because you have different songs. Yeah, probably. But like in my scenario, you get to look at all these beautiful women outside of the outside of the house you're stuck in Plano, Texas. But yeah, but on the radio you get the selection of 200 different songs. That you like variety and everything, but it's still only 200 different songs. So it's either one song, and that one song is "Living on a Prayer." I mean, if there was like if we did find like life on other planets, what's the song? If you wanted to like if you were like if aliens landed on Earth, or if you like landed as an alien on another planet, what's the song that you would want aliens to hear if you wanted them to be impressed with the current state of rock and roll, or the state of rock and roll in the history of rock and roll? What would the one song that you would want aliens to hear if you wanted to give aliens a good impression about like how rock and roll has evolved over the years, and like if you want to impress them with what a great art form rock and roll is? What would the rock and roll song be that you would want the aliens to hear? Uh, uh, um, would it be "Living on a Prayer"? Would it be something else? Okay, so Smells Like Teen Spirit. That's a pretty good choice. Smells Like Teen Spirit. So you do have good taste in music. Okay, let's say that you the mayor of Cleveland has driven up to New Jersey and he he informed Bruce Springsteen and the bass player from Bon Jovi that they must drive down to. Yes, of course. They must drive down to Plano, Texas to set you free from this house you're trapped in. And the Smiths, that's a great band too. The Smiths, How Soon Is Now? Did you ever hear the song How Soon Is Now? Um, Another great Smiths song would be um, oh, there's a lot of great Smiths songs. Anyways, but um, so the mayor of Cleveland has driven up to, yes, there are a lot of great Smiths songs. Has driven up to New Jersey to tell Bruce Springsteen and the bass player from Bon Jovi that they must drive down to Plano, Texas to set you free. And they do. You finally get set free. You're out of this house that you were trapped in, hearing um, Slippery, not Slippery When Wet, that's the name of the album, but Living on a Prayer. And all the beautiful girls that were dancing in front of your house that you were trapped in, you find that they were dancing around to the song "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and so you start dancing with them, and then you, the mayor of Cleveland, the bass player from Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, and the reincarnated Jim Morrison. Let's say Jim Morrison is reincarnated, and and then Janis Joplin reincarnated, Kurt Cobain reincarnated. Um, I don't know if you know this, but Kurt Cobain has reincarnated, and whoever spots him, whoever finds him, gets to start a new band with him. It'll be like Nirvana Mach 2, like MACH Mach 2. Let me clarify. Kurt Cobain has reincarnated. It's kind of like the game Where's Waldo. Whoever finds the reincarnated, we should like. What was the restaurant they had Where's Waldo at? I think it was Hardee's, right? Where you could play like Hardee's in Wisconsin. I think you could actually play the game Where's Waldo. But let's say it's like Where's the reincarnated Kurt Cobain? It'll be at Hardee's. Well, I'm actually just kidding. But let's just say that was true. I mean, okay, I'm actually just kidding. I don't know that Kurt Cobain is reincarnated, but let's just say that he has. Maybe he has. You never know. But why don't we start a game? The object of which is trying to find the reincarnated Kurt Cobain. Whoever wins gets to be the new drummer or bass player or guitar, whatever you want, of Nirvana Mach 2 with the reincarnated Kurt Cobain. And it could also tie in with like a promotion at the restaurant Hardee's in Wisconsin. You step in at Hardee's, you get yourself a double cheeseburger, fries, a drink, maybe a pie for dessert, and you can play this game like Where's Waldo? It's like, where's the reincarnated Kurt Cobain? And they give you a map, and there's all these potential spots in America where he might be. It's kind of like an Easter egg hunt or something like that. And the winner gets to be in Nirvana Mach 2. I think it's a great idea. But you know what? I should have lied. I should have told you that I happen to, it's too late now, but I should have lied and said that I happen to know that Kurt Cobain has been reincarnated. But then, I don't want to be like a charlatan or something like that, or a scam artist. So no, I don't happen to know that Kurt Cobain has. Wouldn't that be cool if he was? But not that I know of. You never know. Stranger things have happened. But I don't know. Where was I? Okay. Anyways, the screen keeps freezing up. Wait a minute. Okay. So I got a question for you. If you were finally broken free from the house in Plano, Texas, where you were forced to hear the song "Living on a Prayer" for 4 trillion years, and I know it's a paradox because the universe is only 13.1 billion years old, and so I know I'm knee deep in this paradox of my own design. But wait a minute, before I even continue with that, how do we resolve that paradox? How do you resolve the paradox of being trapped in a house in Plano, Texas, perpetually hearing "Living on a Prayer" when the universe, for 4 trillion years, when the universe is only 13.1 billion years old? Well, maybe within the time-space continuum of a universe that's 13.1 billion years old, you've been able to toggle back and forth and travel the time, and the relative time span of, you've been able to go back and forth from the beginning of the universe to the end of the universe through time and space, the whole time-space continuum. You've been able to travel back and forth for the amount of time it takes to for 4 trillion years to have elapsed, and that resolves the paradox, I think. And so, within the fabric of a universe that is 13.1 billion years old, you have paradoxically been able to live in a for 4 trillion years, because within the fabric of a 13.1 billion year old universe, you've been able to travel back and forth in time within that universe, and through the fabric of time and space. I mean, I would probably have to kind of like really develop that idea more fully, but I think that's a pretty good start. Well, if time is infinite, then everything that can happen would happen. Yeah, if time is infinite, right? Okay. Anyway, so getting back to my point. If getting back to my point, if you're finally set free by the mayor of Cleveland, Bon Jovi, and the bass player from Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen set you free from that house in Plano, Texas. You get outside and there's all these beautiful women frolicking out there, all these like naked, beautiful women that are just kind of just like enjoying each other, getting to third base. But then they're okay. Anyways, how do you? No, not how do you. Wait a minute. Okay. What's the first song you would like to hear in those circumstances? Would you rather hear the song "How Soon Is Now" by the Smiths, or would you rather hear "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana? Which song would you like to be like the theme song for that experience that you were having in that situation. I would probably go with Smells Like Teen Spirit. By the way, what do you think is a better song? Smells Like Teen Spirit or How Soon Is Now? Which is a better song? Which is more like innovative, groundbreaking song, cutting edge song? I mean, which song are you more impressed with? What song do you think has been more influential in shaping modern culture? Oh, hi. We got Jackson Hess. Hi, Jackson Hess. Just to get you caught up in this situation, in this narrative that I've been laying out, Jackson. Uh, I was talking about the possibility of being trapped, and I mean, it's a long story. Okay, it's been going on for almost 2 hours now, but I was talking about the possibility of being trapped in a house in Plano, Texas, a house in which the song "Living on a Prayer" is playing ad infinitum. So far, it's been 4 trillion years. But you're stuck in this house with a refrigerator that perpetually, I mean, that continually replenishes itself, and it's got all this delicious food and everything. And once you empty it out, it just replenishes itself. So you're stuck in this, this house, and you're hearing, you have to hear the song, but you're forced to hear the song, "Living on a Prayer" at an ear-stirring volume. So, you know, you're stuck inside that house, and you've been in there for 4 trillion years, okay? But you have to contact the mayor of Cleveland to get you out. And the way he can get you out is, but you have to mentally, telepathically contact him. And once you telepathically contact the mayor of Cleveland, he has to telepathically contact the bass player from Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen to inform them that they must drive down to Plano, Texas to set you free. So you succeed in doing that, and they drive down and everything. But then we were further talking about the fact that, like, I mean, about the paradox of 4 trillion years going by, about 4 trillion years going by in a universe of you experiencing 4 trillion years from your relative perspective. How does somebody how could somebody from their own relative perspective experience the passage of 4 trillion years, that passage of time go by within a universe that scientists are telling us that has only existed for 13.1 billion years? And so we were trying to resolve that paradox, and we did so by coming to the conclusion that within a universe where time travel is permitted, you could travel back and forth through the fabric of time and space, back and forth within a universe that's only 13.1 billion years old, and watch 4 trillion years of time elapse. But an average human would live about 80 years. An average human would live about 80 years. Let me resolve that paradox. If the average lifespan of a human is 80 years, and I think it's actually gone up since then. I think it's actually gone up to like 90 or 100. I mean, the average, the average lifespan of a human being keeps going up. But the only drawback to that is, like, human life becomes harder and harder as you get old, because you suffer with a lot of physical ailments and stuff like that, and the quality of life suffers, like, into old age. But that, not to digress, but that's kind of like the drawback to the expanding lifespan of the human. But okay, so if a human lifespan is 80 years, I mean, but the thing about time travel is, like, when you're traveling to, let's say you're traveling to the future, time is slowing down from your perspective. By definition, time travel But by the very definition of time travel, from your perspective, time is slowing down. But from the perspective of the rest of the universe, it's speeding up. So let's say you travel like a trillion years into let's say you travel like a million years in the future. You've traveled a million years in the future, but like from your perspective, you've only aged a year, but a million years have gone by. So you've only aged a year, but the rest of the the rest of the universe has aged a million years. I mean, it's like it's time slowing down for you. That's the very nature of traveling to the future. Time is slowing down for you, so you've only aged like a year, but you travel to a point in the future that is advanced by 1,000 years, 100,000 years, a million years, whatever it happens to be. Um, so I think that should fully explain that paradox. Um, let's see. Do they still have a Grolsch beer in Holland? Do they still have Grolsch, or they just have Heineken? What are some of the best beers in Holland? Oh, they do have yeah, they still have Grolsch in Holland. Do they have Bavaria's best Bavaria beer? Is that available in America? Is Bavaria beer available in America? Actually, yeah, Holland seems like a pretty cool place to travel to or to live, actually, because it seems like really liberal, and it seems like the people love the party there. I don't think so. Oh yeah, I don't think I never saw it here in America, but it sounds good, just the name itself. Um, have you ever been to America? But Belgian beer is better. Belgian, yeah. Do you ever have? I've actually had Belgian beer. I've actually had the what's it called? Um, oh, what's the Belgian beer that I had? It was actually um, I'm trying to think of the name of that Belgian beer that I had. It's available over the counter. Wait a minute. It's what the hell was it Belgian beer again? It was actually wait a minute. Hoogarden. Did you ever have Hoogarden? I think it's spelled like Hogarden, Heo. I mean Hoegarden, but it's spelled Who. It's pronounced Hoogarden. I want to go, but it's so expensive to go to the USA. Yeah, you should try. I mean, yeah, it must be expensive actually, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun here. Jupiter. um, Speaking of Jupiter, did you know that like on Jupiter they actually there's four Jupiter actually has four moons. There's four moons in Jupiter. Oh yeah, Hogarden. That's a really good beer. Hogarden. Did you know that there's actually Jupiter is by four moons, and that like on one of these moons, I think it's called Europa or whatever. What's the name of the moon on Jupiter that orbits Jupiter? But there's actually scientists are theorizing that there's like it's covered by oceans, and that because it's covered by oceans, that it might be a place that could potentially be habitable for sentient life. Did you know that? Here's another idea. Let's say that like okay, let's say that like you're back in Plano, Texas. Okay, now we're back in Plano, Texas, and let's say that Europe is yeah Europa. Wait a minute. I think I think they call it Europa, don't they? The moon of Jupiter. They actually that they scientists are theorizing has fresh like oceans. I think where it might be potential for habit for sentient life. But anyways, um, now what I was thinking that here's like another augmentation to my story. I was thinking that if you were set free at that house in Plano, Texas, where you were trapped listening, being forced to listen to the song "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi for 4 trillion years. You finally get out of the place, and the first people you see are the bass player from Bon Jovi, whatever his name is, and Bruce Springsteen, and um, the mayor of Cleveland, the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the first song you hear is "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Second song you hear is "How Soon Is Now" by the Smiths. But then a spaceship is hovering above Plano, Texas, and you get to board the spaceship with all the beautiful naked women that were dancing in front of that house in Plano, Texas. You all board the spaceship, and my song "Alien Abduction" comes on. Because I wrote that song "Alien Abduction." By the way, I hope you check that out. I have a recording of a song "Alien Abduction" that I wrote that's on YouTube. My song is playing on the spaceship, "Alien Abduction." You remember that song, "Alien Abduction in the Night, Captured on an Interstellar Flight, Traveling the place so far away. You saw two of them taken from their homes, so taken so far away. Planet Earth is really not their home. Planet Earth is just a place to roam." That song. Um, Here, way beyond the sun. You go beyond the sun to Planet Earth is just a place to roam. I'm trying to think of my own lyrics now. um, you saw two of them taken far away, the planet far away, them taken from their home, taken far away, planet away, so far away from home. Whatever, that song. My alien abduction song. Um, Alien Abduction in the Night, Captured on an Interstellar Flight. Wait a minute. You saw two of them taken from their homes and taken far away, a planet far away. Planet Earth is really not our home. Planet Earth is just a place to roam. That song. Okay. But so you board the spaceship, and that song is playing on the spaceship. That's the first song you hear on the spaceship. The spaceship actually takes you to the moon of Jupiter, that where they actually, we're talking about, like, this is the year 2124 or 2224, something like that. Let's say 2224. So it's 200 years from now. And but wait a minute, I said 4 trillion years have passed by. Well, wait a minute, but you've been toggling back and forth on the time-space continuum, and so you've been traveling back and forth through time. So it's actually, this is the year 2024, 2224. So you're on that spaceship, and you hear my song "Alien Abduction" on it, and you travel with the rest of the Bruce Springsteen's also on that spaceship, and the mayor of Cleveland, and all the naked women that were dancing in front of the house in Plano, Texas, and mayor of Cleveland, and the bass player from Bon Jovi. And you're taken to one of the 4 moons of Jupiter, the one that had actually in 2224, they're actually they've proven that there is sentient life on that moon in Jupiter. Not only have they proven that there's sentient life, but humans have set up a colony on this moon, and there you get to meet on that moon. They've set up, like, condos and mansions and all kinds of. I mean, it's like a new, like, planet. I mean, it's actually not a planet. It's a moon of Jupiter. And people have been colonizing it. It's the year 2222. Let's say it's the year 2224, and human life is like ceased to exist on planet Earth. But we've all like um, we've terraformed that moon on Jupiter. Yeah, the moon around Jupiter that where in 2020 2224 they've found sentient life. Yeah, space hub, exactly. And so now you finally land on that moon. Is it Europa? Is that the name of the moon on Jupiter? That one of the four moons of Jupiter where they found where scientists think there might be sentient life. Um, but you get there and the song there's like a record release party being played in one of the clubs there on that moon. It's like kind of a really cool club. It looks like one of the clubs in Chicago where they, like Medusa's or something like that. It looks like one of those clubs on the inside, and there's all these weird people in there. But they're playing like it's a record release party for Smells Like Teen Spirit, a remastered version of Smells Like Teen Spirit for the year 2224 to be premiered on Europa, the moon of Jupiter. I think it's Europa or whatever it is, but and then moon of Jupiter. It's a club kind of like Exit in Chicago, I guess. There's like a record release party for the remastered with bonus tracks of Smells Like Teen Spirit. And there you get to meet the reincarnated Kurt Cobain, and the rest of Nirvana, Dave Grohl and Kurt Novoselic is also there, the bass player for Nirvana. Let's see, and the band is just kind of hanging out, drinking in there, just drinking some Hoegaarden or Hoegaarden. Was it Hoegaarden? And some Heineken. And so they're just sitting at the bar drinking. They're loaded, by the way. I mean, they're totally flat out, just totally drunk. I mean, just like kind of like blitzed. I mean, just bombed. You've never seen like Kurt Cobain and Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic this drunk before, listening to their own music, a record release party of Smells Like Teen Spirit. But in the year 2224 on one of the moons of Jupiter. But and the reincarnated Kurt Cobain. And so I'm there too, and I'm getting drunk too. But we're all drinking. Was it Hoegaarden? Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, that Dutch beer. It's like a Dutch beer. And I like that. I like that idea. I'm painting a beautiful picture in my mind, in my imagination. I hope you got as beautiful a picture of this in your imagination as I do. I mean, just imagine what a beautiful sight, would it be not only a beautiful sight and a beautiful mental image that would be, but a beautiful notion, anything involving like the reincarnated Kurt Cobain and a record release party for Smells Like Teen Spirit, which they've remastered in the year 2224 on that planet, one of the moons of Jupiter, where in 2224 they have found sentient life. And the whole band Nirvana is up there, and we're like in a bar that's kind of like similar to Exit in Chicago. And the whole band is there. We're all getting drunk on Hoegaarden, that Dutch beer, and which is actually a pretty good beer, by the way. I've had it. Okay, but anyways, I want to make this story even more interesting. So we're all getting drunk and we're listening to the release. It's like a release party. I don't know if they still have those like record release parties at bars. They should. That was a fun thing they did in like the '90s and 2000s. Like if a great new album came out, like the new Pearl Jam album or the new Soundgarden album came out, it would be like a record release party at one of the cool bars in Chicago. But let's say it's a bar, and let's say that the album was actually recorded on a moon of Jupiter. Oh, it was us talking to you, Stegen. Was your name was Stegen Hubers? I was talking to you, man from Holland. That's a great idea for the first album to be released on a moon orbiting Jupiter, because the scientists have found that it is possible that maybe life does exist on this moon. That's one of the four moons that revolves around Jupiter. They have found Scientists have found that there is like the tantalizing possibility that because they speculate that there's oceans on this moon, that sentient life may exist on this moon. Let's say that like it's the year 2224 and human beings have like traveled to this moon, and we set up a recording studio on this moon, and we terraformed the moon and everything. We set up a recording studio, and the first album that we recorded would be one of the greatest rock and roll albums ever recorded on planet Earth. Smells Like Teen Spirit. To be recorded on the moon, on one of the moons of Jupiter. So I bet I'm making a lot of other bands jealous by saying that, because like U2 is probably saying like, oh, what about the Joshua Tree? And Bruce Springsteen's probably saying, what about Born to Run? And the Replacements are probably saying, what about Let It Be? And those are all great albums, but I'm going to go with Smells Like Teen Spirit. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that truly that is the best rock and roll album of all time, but it's one of the best, I think. I don't think, and then if I'm going to state my honest opinion, I don't think it is the best rock and roll album of all time, but it's probably in the top 10. But but it's going to be the first. If I had my druthers, it would be the first album to be recorded on one of the moons of Jupiter. In the year 2020, 2224. I mean, I think it should be. But if I had my druthers, which I usually don't get my druthers, but if I did have my druthers, and for those of you who've never heard that word, just look it up. Um, I think the first album that should be recorded in the year 2020, 2224 on one of the moons of Jupiter should be a remastered version of Smells Like Teen Spirit with the reincarnated Kurt Cobain. But that's if I got my druthers, which I usually don't get my druthers. But that's what I think it should be. Um, but I don't know. I can't believe I've been like talking about this stuff for over 2 hours. Okay, but nice flights of the imagination. So, anyways, um, yeah. So I think that this should be my Friday night YouTube show. Should be the Keep Laughing show, my improvisational comedy show, because I really think this one went really well tonight. And it's a good way to exercise my improvisational comedy chops. So I think, yeah, Thursday night should be the YouTube Keep Laughing show, I think. Yeah. Um, yeah, that'd be good. Hmm. Yeah, I think I had one of those people that's in love with the sound of his own voice. I mean, it's actually, I don't want to be a politician. I just want to be like an artist, like a performance artist. I don't want to be a politician. I just want to be like a performance artist because I am a person who loves the sound of his own voice. But actually, oh, so anyways, what I was talking about before is okay. I just thought of something. NASA has traveled to the moon. Obviously, we've traveled to the moon, and I think there are like private citizens actually that are, people that have like the fundamental knowledge of like uh, space transport. That if you have enough money, that I mean, it is within the means of certain people, wealthy people, who are not only wealthy but they have like the scientific background to build their own, you know, space transport. That there is speculation that some of these people would actually travel to the moon. But so obviously the human race has actually obviously traveled to the moon before, and I think where America has launched some kind of I think the NASA space program has launched a spacecraft that's heading towards the one of the moons of Jupiter. I think it's going to be there by when do they say, like 2030? I think it's 2030, so it'll be there in like 6 years, I think. And it's gonna be, it's going to one of the moons of Jupiter. I think it's Europa. I think is his name, something like that. And once it gets there, I brought up the prospect of actually, you know, re, doing like a remastered recording of Nevermind on that moon with the reincarnated Kurt Cobain. But you know, in the interim, what I was thinking is that what we could do is like send some, because we can't get to the moon. We know we can get to the moon for now. and send somebody up to the moon and have somebody to the Earth's moon and actually send somebody up there to record like the first album recorded on the moon. I don't know why somebody hasn't done that yet, but imagine having an album recorded on the surface of the moon, and who would be the first band to do that? I think it's a great idea, but I think somebody should, But first of all, let me think about this. Is it possible? I mean, we know it's possible to land on the moon and everything. Is it possible? Is there anything that would preclude that? I mean, is there any like thing that is there any like do we have the technology obviously to send somebody to the moon? Do we have the technology, and is there anything that would render that infeasible? Is it do we know for sure that you can actually record an album on the moon? I would assume that it is possible. If so, I mean I can't think of any reason that would um, I can't think of any technological reason why you couldn't record an album on the moon. But assuming that you could, what do you think the first album that should be that would be recorded on the moon? And who do you think the first band should be that would be given the privilege of recording the first album on the moon? But after that, so yeah, we should probably start with the moon actually, and start with the Earth's moon, and then once we've recorded as a human civilization, once we recorded the first rock and roll album on the moon, the second rock and roll album, I think, should be on one of the moons of Jupiter, one of the four moons of Jupiter, should be a remastered version of "Smells Like Teen Spirit" with a reincarnated Kurt Cobain. But that's just my opinion. Anybody there? Oh God. Okay, that was long enough. I'll see you people next time. Bye.